sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
I think that was both of theirs. I think Swingers put
Jon Favreau,
put both of them.
that
on
was
there.
hardcore budget film that
It was
they
like,
threw
it was
together.
like Clerks.
Yeah.
To Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, Swingers was Clerks to Kevin Smith.
And then, you know what? We were just watching, I want to say, because we're going back and we're watching all the this is podcast shit.
We're recording.
We're going back and watching all, because we got Disney Plus now.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Good.
Looks good here.
We're going back and watching all of the Marvel movies.
So,
And we're starting with...
are you doing it in order?
We're trying to.
Okay.
So we started with Iron Man.
Yes.
And
Yeah, you can't.
that was Jon Favreau.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, that guy is everywhere.
Yes.
That dude's fucking brilliant.
Yes.
I mean, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, Elf, Iron Man, like comedy, fucking action films.
And he's in, if not directing,
He's a producer.
He's a producer of a lot of the Iron. Obviously, he plays Happy, so
Yeah.
he's in them.
He's written Mandalorian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what doesn't that guy do? Holy shit.
He reminds me a lot because Kevin Feige, the guy that's like behind the scenes of the entire, he is the puppet master for the entire Marvel universe as far as how it strings together. So while Kevin Feige isn't necessarily writing or directing any of the movies per se, it all comes from his mind. And what's really interesting about that is that in the Star Wars universe, relative to the cartoons, there's another guy that's kind of like the same, Dave Filoni.
Okay.
And he is tied into The Mandalorian as well.
Okay.
So you have Jon Favreau, and all of his talents and how his experience that came from doing the Marvel universe, and you get the same kind of experience and guys and creative minds in Dave Filoni and the Star Wars stuff. Absolutely. Like The Mandalorian is like a perfect nexus of like Marvel and the Star Wars.
Conglomeration.
Yes, it's perfect.
The blend.
Yeah. Anyway, so you are marveling.
Well, we're starting to.
Starting.
Yeah, that's the goal, is to like start. We watched. We also watched a more recent one. The girl that's
Captain Marvel?
yes, right.
Yeah.
She's the girl that
Is the Air
finds
Force
out.
pilot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
we watched
Captain-
that too.
Captain
We watched
Marvel.
that first because
Oh.
we just watched it, and then we're like, well, we need to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
And let's start with Iron Man. So and I'd already seen Iron Man. I don't think my wife had seen it.
Yeah.
So we watched that, and it's like, well, now we got to watch Iron Man 2. We haven't gotten there
Yeah,
yet,
yeah.
but we started.
Yeah.
We've seen 2.
Yeah.
But fucking love that shit.
I bet there's a lot more that will stick with you if you watch it fresh like that. In that, because there's a sequence to
Yeah.
make it to like maximize, but like you said, you can catch them out of order. It's not, they're all.
It feels like
standalone.
Marvel's or the Marvel films are. I mean, unless it's like specifically like Iron Man 1, 2, and 3,
right.
they're not really sequentially oriented for the most part. I mean, they are more. They are, but not. They're not heavily weighted on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each one could stand on its own if you just caught it on like a sci-fi channel or something.
Yeah.
Like someone was playing it. You could sit down and watch it and be
Yeah.
kind of agnostic of if it was a third, first, second, or it was at the tail end of the entire.
Right. You would know the
they'll
difference.
work that way.
Yeah.
It's fucking superheroes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. It's episode 67,
Right.
and we are winding down the holiday festivities now.
Yeah. We're tied. I think we wrapped up our last family thing.
Holy mackerel, what a whirlwind last week and a half or so. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a bunch of time off. Today's my last day. And we were just talking about this before we started recording and how I'm grappling with the fact that I have to go back to work tomorrow. Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't want to go back to work.
I had work the 26th.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like Christmas and then jump right back into it.
Yeah.
I think what helped me a little bit was that, because that was a Thursday. I didn't run Thursday. It was like I got up early to make sure I was still on like the cycle, not sleeping in or anything like that.
Right.
And we were also talking about, it was, I was off mid-December until the 26th, and I didn't get through Friday before I was just like, fuck.
It's coming.
I can't. This hurts me on the inside so bad right now.
Sad dad.
Yeah, totally sad dad. I'm like,
yeah. I mean, the only thing that's redeeming about going back to work tomorrow is knowing that it'll be tomorrow and Friday, and then it'll be a weekend.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll be looking forward to Martin Luther King Day because I get that day off.
Yeah, I think we get that off too.
So.
Yeah.
That's where I'm
at. It was in the whole thing as far as day skipping and whatnot. I think hashtag hi Donna. Donna had like a really good like mood type of gif, and it was it had something to do with the space time between Christmas, the holiday, and where New Year's fell. And it was like this. It's just a nexus of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Truly.
And then you wake up and you're at the end of your. It's at the end kind of thing. It certainly fell weird with Christmas and New Year's being
midweek
where they were.
Yeah.
When I looked at the calendar for next year, it's like they both fall on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
And I thought right off the bat, oh, well, that'll
that's
probably
actually,
be easier because,
better.
You'll get people that'll just take probably the entire Monday through Thursday of both weeks off.
Yeah.
But then I went, well, how many people actually can do that, though, at the end? I think we're probably outliers that can, because I don't take anything mid-year ever.
Well,
I get to the end of the year, and it's always like, you've got 200 hours to use. I'm like, fuck.
Well, I had 280 hours, and I'm like, I'm not going to lose them.
Right.
But I cap out at 300. So it's like, I got to take, either that or I got to cash out, which is fine.
Yeah.
I can cash out. But like at the same time, it's like, I need some time off.
Yeah.
And I want to spend some time with the family while my daughter's home and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, so I thought, wow, next year it'll be easier, harder. I'm not quite sure. I think it'll be
better because you'll have the holiday and then 2 days that are a weekend.
Right.
And then
so you can escape a little bit. I think that, but then you're going to be like, well, is it, so Monday, I think Monday might be harder.
No.
Third?
No, because I'll take that off. Oh, you mean after the New Year's?
After the New Year. You'll be coming off of, someone will potentially coming off of two, and you're going to get Monday the hard way.
The hard Monday.
The hard Monday.
The hard 5-day week Monday. That'll be next year.
Boom.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I took off.
There'll be no reprieve next year.
I'm just trying to think about this. I think I took off 5 days. Yeah, because it was in one paycheck, it was like 3 days. In one paycheck, it was 2 days.
Yeah.
And I earned like a day in a check, so it's like it's really only
and
2 days in one and 1 day in the other.
Even the time that I had taken off for Disneyland this year, I went, see, this is what it's like to use the PTO. And I think by mid-November, beginning of December, I was back up to cap, and I went, well, shit. Damn it.
Well, that just goes to show you need to take more time off.
I felt accomplished, and then no.
I feel like
I hit my limit again.
Don't take this as I'm not ripping on you, but you work a lot, and I feel like you need to take more time for yourself.
I think that's the bit. I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I do not disagree.
Yeah.
I think there is a Jedi mind trick, certainly I think it got a little bit harder in a Fortune 500 company. It wasn't really an issue when I was working like mom and pop or even for the county. It was like, weekends aren't a thing. When you're in like the grind of a business that's as big as the bank is, there isn't like an unspoken thing about
implied.
Yeah,
working.
your value and your corporate worth is a relative to the extra space and time that you put in that may or may not be actually allocated or reflected in your paycheck. It's like it's there, and you do it, and you like try and walk it back, but then you see contractors and like new starters that are just like, I'll take all the work and I'll do all of the tickets, and you're like, okay, hey, fucker.
Hey, man, I got a family, and I want to take some fucking time off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't want to work Saturday, but everyone else decided they were going to. So it's like, well, I don't want to be the guy.
Well, I used to be more like that, honestly. I used to be more like, oh, I don't want to take off time because, projects and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's like everybody else takes time off.
And that's the thing.
And
that's
like,
the other end of the sword, the other edge. It's like, well, there's the unspoken thing, but then at the same time, you're like, well, I know he's not working this weekend either. So everyone else seems to manage to find that time.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the year, I'm the guy left with cap.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find the time.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, it's a double-edged sword too, because then you take time off, and then at the end of your time off, and you have to go back to work.
Right.
You feel when you roll into the first couple days of work, sort of like those feelings of burned or whatever kind of come back pretty quick. Yeah, you don't get refreshed and be like, well, I'm good for the next 6 or 8 months. You're like,
yeah, that hasn't been a thing in many years.
Yeah.
Like that missed the thing.
As I get older, I want to take more time off.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to a coworker several years ago, a guy who's since retired in my group. And he was like, we were talking about vacation and how much vacation time I had, because I'm always seem to be running up against the cap.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I'll just cash it out. And he's like, yeah, but you can cash it out and get the money, but
you could take the time.
I want the time off. I don't want to be here that much.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, I mean, I'd rather have the cash, to be honest.
Right.
And now I feel that pendulum sort of swinging the other direction. Like, it'd be nice to cash it out, but I also really want some time off.
You know what I think makes it hard too, in my circumstance, is that because I don't commute, there's less of a burden for me, like an incentive for me to be like, I don't want to drive to work today. So, that's an extra relief. So it's like, because I don't want to do that.
Because you roll out of bed, scratch your nuts, and walk over to your desk.
Yeah.
And then you're at work.
Put everything in the sling and then hit the button.
Honey, bring my banana hammock.
Yes.
It's time to log in.
Daddy's in the sling today. And keep the dogs out. But because I work from home, it's like, well, it's not too much of an inconvenience to always be punching in it a little bit. It would. I think I would take more time if I had to commute to an office, because I would be like, I don't want to drive today, or I don't want to deal with extra people.
I know when I'm at home a lot, like right now, some part of me is kind of like, oh, it'll be nice to do something different tomorrow. Right? Because I've been home now for a week and a half, and it's like, I got, there's work things that are like, I'm looking forward to doing that or whatever.
Right.
To a certain extent, right? But if I was working at home, I know when I'm home for like a week and a half, that I get kind of cagey, and I can't imagine just being at home for home and then just like walking into another room like, well, I'm at work now, and you're still home. You know what I mean? I think that would bug me more.
That
would
it
be
takes
hard.
an adjustment,
And especially when like you're in your office and like the kids come home from school, or you hear the wife coming and going and running errands or whatever.
Yeah.
It would be hard to like not be distracted by all of the stuff happening.
It takes getting used to. It's certainly not a switch. I can tell you that, because there's an ebb and flow to learning how it, and sometimes the distractions, it's not, like I said, it's not on and off. Sometimes it's like,
I can't be bothered now.
Yeah.
Leave me
and
alone.
then other times it's like, well, I need to take a break anyway. So a lot of times that will happen.
Yeah.
Too, being home, it's like, well, to be at the keyboard, for hours and hours and hours at a time, oftentimes you don't take the break to get up and walk around where you may in an office setting. So now the kids coming home from school is almost like a perfect afternoon thing, where it's like, it is a distraction, but almost by design, because that gets me up and that forces me to take a break.
Yeah, I can see that.
But when the kids are home on a vacation break and I have to work and
or a Saturday,
right,
Yeah.
and everyone's like goofing off around the house or spending all day watching Netflix, and I walk in to get a cup of coffee, or people are still sleeping in, and Daddy's like, fucking, I've been up since what, and you're still what?
And I don't think you have a door on your office, right?
I do, but it's always,
Oh, you do?
yeah,
Okay.
it's open all the time,
Okay.
unless it's a
must
issue.
Concentrate thing. I have to
right, and
be
that
at my-
happens, but it's rare.
Okay. For some reason I was thinking there wasn't a door there, but
There's shit hanging from it. Yeah,
okay. All right.
because it's just as an oddity for the dogs
To have the door closed.
to have the door closed.
They're like, the fuck?
yeah, because then I get Jax like licking. I can hear him like,
God.
licking the door, like, let me in, bitch.
Your dogs are
I
nuts,
know, he's
dude.
just this crazy shit.
Your dogs are nuts.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. They feed off each other too. That's what's crazy about
yeah. We got Xander for Christmas. We got him one of those beanbag memory foam chairs.
Okay.
It's a dog chair.
them. Oh, they've taken it
It's
over.
done. It's fucking over.
He's like, thanks for the dog chair.
we'll set it up in the living room, so that way when we're watching movies, you'll have someplace to sit. He's like, okay. And like every time we walk out to the living room, Shiny's in a ball in the middle of it, or Jax is in a ball in the middle of it. We're like, well, guess we'll sit on the couch then.
Yeah.
like people.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Or if you try and sit on it, and then
They
the dog,
pile on
yeah,
you?
yeah. Piper and I were sitting in it watching Jack Ryan, and Shiny walked up like, pretty sure there's room for me.
Hey, why are you guys in my chair?
Yeah, and we went, no, this isn't going to work. And she fucking made it work, and it got hot. And then I had to get out of the
You're
chair.
like, this is not working for me now.
I can't. There's sweat everywhere and cracks, and it's not pleasant.
Oh, God.
But the dog was happy.
Oh, man.
Dog had more room.
Man. Well, that's something we actually did over the break. Was one of the things we did, my wife and I, was like, well, for Christmas, instead of buying ourselves each other a bunch of stuff, why don't we do something for like together?
Okay.
So we bought a 4K TV, which
Wow.
yeah. So we had I think our TV
Hashtag high datas. He's so happy.
we had a Sony Bravia that was, I think, about 13 or 14 years old, and
Which is impressive in its own.
it was a 720p television, so the lowest form of HD there is.
Yeah.
But the thing had a gorgeous picture, and I have to admit.
Okay.
So it's kind of sad because it's not broken in any way. It's just old.
Yeah.
Now, the new TV's pretty cool. I mean, I have to admit, it's got all this bullshit that we don't actually need, like
Right.
WebOS and all this crap.
Oh. Okay.
I have one problem.
Okay.
I hope maybe somebody knows something that I don't, because I've done some research and I can't find anything about it. So we use Netflix. We've been disc subscribers, and we use it for a Blu-ray player. We have a PS3.
Okay.
Haven't upgraded to a PS4. It's still the old box. It works fine, but
Okay.
it's our Blu-ray player basically.
Okay.
Take the new TV, hook it up to one of the inputs. Never get any video out of the PS3, ever.
What kind of input output?
It's HDMI.
Is it a version of HDMI that's not compatible
I don't
with
know.
the PS3?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird as shit. And you take it and you hook it back up to the old Sony Bravia picture, no problem. Can go through the menus, play a game, watch a movie, whatever. Take it, turn it off, hook it back up to the new TV, plug it in, never gets any signal. Although, so on the TV, when you go to the input selection, it has boxes for each of the inputs.
Okay.
And it tells you what's connected.
Okay.
Which is insane. But it tells you what's connected, and if it's connected in their signal and it sees that there's signal there, the box is dark gray. And if it's no signal, then the box is light gray, like if the unit's off or whatever.
Okay, right.
The connection where the PS3's hooked up, when it's off is light gray, and when it's on, it is dark gray, like it's seeing signal. But it never gets a picture.
Interesting.
Also, I've taken, we also got a Apple TV 4K Plus.
Okay.
Or TV 4K.
Okay.
Unhook that from its input that works, plug that into the same input that the PS3 is connected to on the new TV.
Okay.
Video. So it's not the cable.
Okay.
It's not the input. It's not the TV input.
It's got to be what's coming out of the PS3.
Yeah. So unhook it, put it on the old Sony Bravia, go into the video settings, set it for different modes.
Okay.
Unplug it, plug it in, nothing. There's also a mode where you hold down the power button when you power it up, and that if you hold it down for like 5 seconds, it beeps once to power on, and then it beeps again.
Okay.
That's resetting the video settings.
Okay.
And then when it does that, it's supposed to come up with like a thing that lets you say, yeah, I'm using HDMI.
Okay.
That never works. It works on the old TV, but never works on the new TV. I do this shit for a living.
How bizarre.
It's totally blowing my mind. I don't understand what the hell's going on. No software updates for the PS3?
My first question would be, is all HDMI formats backwards compatible?
It should be.
Because I don't know, but it was, and I only say that because I had a coworker. See, fuck, I don't know what day it is. A coworker on
what day is it?
Monday. Monday or Tuesday, who had a monitor go bad, and I spent the better part of the day because it was so slow at work, going through monitors and stuff, and I had seen on something new that she had was asking me to, my thoughts on. It was the first time I had seen is also HDMI compatible, and I went, see, I thought they were just all. I thought it was one of those things where it was all backwards compatible, but
it should absolutely be backwards compatible.
But that it had to specifically state that it was compatible with a particular format is now leading me to believe that if you can rule out inputs on the TV, the cable, that the output on the PS3 works on an older TV, then it's got to be an HDMI protocol version, right?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, because the way HDMI works is there's handshaking that takes place between the devices.
Right.
So when you plug it in, the device that wants to get video or send video out, like handshakes with that unit, what's the format that you can, what's the best format that I can send to you?
Okay.
And that I support. And they do a handshake, and then they configure each other and go, boom, okay, this is my default best video format between the two of us. And that's how it works. Now, like I said, when I take the PS3 and I put it on the Sony television, and it works,
right?
I can go into the video settings, and I can tell it what formats I want to output. I'm limited, though. I can do 720p, I can do 1080p, and it also supports 480p, which is standard def, but that progressive standard definition.
Okay.
That one is not uncheckable, so that one is always on. But the other two I can turn on or off. It doesn't seem to matter which one I'm sending. It doesn't jive. So I can set it up for those specific formats, take it back to the other TV, and the TV doesn't see the video.
Does a new TV only have HDMI inputs?
It has component, but I don't know. I don't have the component cable set up.
For the PS3?
Yeah.
I
don't know where the cables
That
are.
would seem like an easy test to just
to see.
Just do components.
Yeah.
Will it do fiber out? Does the PS3 have fiber out? I mean, will it pull audio if you just did a fiber out cable to the TV? I guess you don't have a receiver either.
No, the TV only has fiber out, not in.
You don't have a receiver?
I do.
Could you go from the PS3 to receiver and then from the receiver via an input into your TV as a monitor?
The amp is an old amp, so it doesn't have any HDMI connections.
We were so close.
I know, trust me, I've been here. I mean, the only thing I could think of...
as a gift to you and your wife, you should get each other a new receiver as well.
Or a PS4.
No, you
have to wait for the PS5?
Yeah, because the new ones, I mean...
Well, wait, is the new ones... Because, I mean, part of the reason why we want this is for Blu-ray playback.
The same thing as Will told us in the last week podcast as far as routers. Don't buy a new router.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to buy a console this year. Or 2019.
Well, I mean, I know the PS5's coming and I know the new Xbox is coming. I don't game that much.
Right, but you would be shooting yourself in the foot as far as all kinds of extra stuff.
I mean, I could go buy... I mean, I told my wife, if we're going to replace the PS3 with something that works, I would be more apt to go buy a 4K capable Blu-ray player.
Probably would be easier. And it's probably cheap.
They're $150.
No, really?
Yeah, for a 4K capable.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you're talking about just a Blu-ray player that's 1080p, it's $50.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen them as much as $39, but probably
because you still use discs. That's right, your disc subscription.
Yeah,
Netflix.
I mean, and we can probably. That's the other thing. So
these
are all the things
you need to move forward, Daddy-O.
I know. So that's the. I know. That was the other thing, right? Like, do I even need to replace the PS3 with anything at all, and then just cancel my disc subscription? And then also. So you're just giving up the disc subscription for 4K support in Netflix, right?
Yeah.
So you're just trading them off. But see, that's the thing. That's what I love about Blu-ray is you got like all the really good audio and stuff, and that's part of the way the surround sound was built for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. It's just that, because I was there too. It's like, as far as having a receiver and high fidelity speakers and all that. And it's like, the moment I had the kids,
it all kind of went.
It kind of sideways. I'm like, if I were to look at the multimedia consumption,
it's all shifted now.
A majority of it is consumed on a small scale, either computer with, faux Dolby surround, or headphones with the Dolby Atmos kind of fakey shit going on, or a tablet or a phone, or because people are sleeping, I'm watching it on Bluetooth headphones on the big TV. So it's like. I've spent thousands of dollars on a really nice home theater system, and I use it 5% of the time.
Well,
at this point,
I mean, to be honest, the TV system gets used a lot because that's our main television in the house.
Yeah,
we still have cable, so we watch stuff on cable quite a bit. Mm-hmm. We have a DVR, so we're recording tons of stuff on that. So, I mean, the surround gets used just for general purpose viewing.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you're not getting that audio quality out of a television broadcast typically that you would get if you're running a Blu-ray, so Whatever. I mean, it was built with a theater experience in mind. It's not the best surround system ever, you know.
Yeah.
But it still
Decent.
makes me smile.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hem and haw about that, but that's the frustrating when you cool, you know, and like I had hooked everything up, and it was everything being the Apple TV 4K and the consolidated TV box,
Right.
and that was all working, and it was like, oh crap, I forgot to hook up the PS3. So the next day, I hook it up, and it's like not working.
Womp womp.
And I'm like, what the hell, you know?
Yeah.
What?
God
And
damn
then is it broken?
Yeah.
That was my first thing. Like, did something happen to it? Like, did the HDMI get broken on the PC board or something? Put it on the old TV, and there it just comes up like it's a champ.
So does the new TV fit in the same space?
Yeah. So the old TV was a 40-inch, and at the time that was pretty big. It has bezels on it that are a good 3.5 inches on, like all the way around, right?
Yeah.
And so we had measured it out. Oh, we could probably fit like a 50 in there. And the 50 nowadays is a small, not a very big TV.
No.
But in our house, it's huge because our house isn't that big. And we have a cabinet specifically with a hole in it.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, what'll fit in this space? And so we're like, oh, we could probably fit a 50. And I was kind of thinking maybe a 55, going crazy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a 50. And I mean, it's millimeters on each side.
Yeah,
Just
skin of your
fits.
teeth.
And the bezel on it's like that big. So it's like it just fits right in the spot.
Wow.
And it's huge in the house. And we're looking at TVs all over the place, and I'm like, they look so small. That's bigger than our TV at home. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
And they're sitting next to like 55, 65, 75-inch televisions. And I'm like, they seem so dinky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we get it home, and it's like, oh, shit, it is huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
50-inch TV is huge.
Yeah.
But not compared to what everybody's buying nowadays.
I was just looking at Xander's desk, and he has like a repurposed monitor of mine from work that, I outsourced. And it just takes up it's a 26.5, and it takes up so much of his desk. And we got him a bunch of like drawing stuff and like creative books and whatnot, like a lot of art supplies to try and get him in a more creative space. And I realized in looking at his desk, the monitor that's now probably 6-7 years old, it takes up his entire desk. So I had to get him a smaller monitor that will fit on an arm, but so that way he can
put his shit out of the way.
And the smaller ones, it's funny how cheap, you get dinky.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have laptops
with bigger
a screen that's pretty darn close to what I ended up putting gonna put on his desk, because that it fits, and he needs desk real estate space.
Yeah.
Because he's not, his desk doesn't have that kind of space. Like, how crazy is that? I mean, you could back in the day
have
those
tablet
yeah.
with a giant screen nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of that technology, when I was building PCs, new, it's funny that we're, winding back decades for the end of the year thing. Those 17 to 20 was a huge
The CRT
panel, and then you get that, hundreds of dollars. And I bought him a 20 something, low 20s for under $100.
Yeah.
It's like magic.
Oh, our TV that we just bought?
Yeah. 4K.
4K. A beautiful picture on it. $289.
No way.
Yeah.
See, that's crazy. I remember when 4Ks came out, thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Thousands
well, nowadays, so it's LCD.
Yeah.
But the new ones are OLED.
Right.
And those are
$1,500,
$1,800. And I'm like, I'm not spending that
I
much
wouldn't
on
watch,
TV. Gorgeous
if it was a
pictures,
monitor,
though.
maybe, because I spend 90% of my time staring at a monitor anyway.
Those displays are pretty damn pretty. I mean, they're amazing.
They're crisp.
Yeah. The blacks are just black as crap, and they have a really nice contrast ratio. But we didn't buy like a super awesome TV, and we didn't get a cheap one. So we're kind of a middle of the road.
I think that's
an
affordable TV.
Let's put this in perspective.
Okay.
13, 14 years ago, when I bought the 720p Sony Bravia, $1,100.
God, I'm surprised you remember. I don't remember how much.
Oh, I do.
I'm sure it was ridiculous.
Yeah, $1,100, and now it's like we don't even know what to do with it. It's like, what are we going to do with this TV? So we have to figure that out.
You put it in the bedroom on a wall mount?
We already have a Vizio 1080p monitor in our bedroom.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you got nothing. Melly need a TV?
She has one.
No.
Chandler has a 50-inch in his room.
E-waste.
Yeah.
Just rub your nuts on it and give it a good send-off.
Dude, it's such I was like, well, does anyone at your parents' church need a TV?
Oh, yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
Pay it forward.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll find out. We'll figure it out.
And they're like, ours are all 4K.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus gave it to us. Well, I'm sorry, Jimmy, but the Jesus only wants the 4K. Hallelujah.
What's the manufacturer of that one? God.
Yeah.
It's a God 50-inch 4K TV.
Yahweh.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that was the other one. Who the fuck is TCL? That's a manufacturer. TCL?
I don't know.
I've never heard of TCL. Like, everybody carries TCL. RC Willey, Best Buy, Target, Walmart.
Maybe it's like one of those, like the helicopter tour companies in Hawaii. Like, they're all accident free because as soon as they have an accident, they remake the company.
Maybe. I don't know.
We've been in business for 30 years, but our company has only been in business for 17.
Maybe it's like a RCA, but they had to
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. We had to rebrand ourselves.
Yeah.
TCL?
Yeah.
We got to stick with the three-letter.
Foxconn, and then the people jump. That's a new company. No one has jumped off our buildings in Foxconn.
Right, exactly. But, interesting shit. Anyway, so moving on from that.
Yeah. I want to say...
If anyone has any ideas how to make my
how
PS3
to
work
fix the input
on a new LG 4K display, please.
With a PS3
and LG 4K with HDMI.
I feel like the Google search would be...
I did, man.
What is the HDMI format of a PS3? And what is the HDMI compatible formats of your LG TV?
I mean, let's put it this way. The cable TV box was pre-configured for 720p because the old TV was 720p. Mm-hmm. That worked. And in fact, we reconfigured it for 1080. Of course, it's 1080i and not 1080p because it's a piece of shit.
How old's a TV
box?
box?
I don't know. A few years old. But that works. So 720p and 1080i works. 1080p works. 4K works off the Apple TV. I mean, it doesn't make any damn sense. So I don't know. If anyone has any ideas, saddadsclubpodcast@gmail.com.
There you go.
I want to know.
There you know.
Yeah. So anyway, are you gonna?
I'm gonna
address the sideways jugs in the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it right now.
I'm confused and I have concerns and worries. Oh boy.
Okay. So here's the thing. Does your family? Oh, that one's probably gonna pop. Oh, it's already losing its steam. Does your family have any sort of culinary dick measuring?
This feels like, this sort of sounds like a infomercial all of a sudden.
Yeah, because you wait for the delivery.
I'm not sure if I understand. I mean, what do you mean by
like when
this?
your family gets together, is there like the person that does the cooking or the person that makes the cookies that like no one fucks with the cookies?
No one fucks with them?
Yeah, like no. If Shan makes the best chocolate chip cookies and she brings them to the parties, Shan doesn't have a brother or a mom or a dad that also tries to bring chocolate chip cookies because no one fucks with Shan's cookies. Does your family have something like that?
No.
Okay.
I would probably be that asshole.
So here you go.
Allow me to pull back the curtain in the carnage that is the Sarda family culinary juggernaut.
Oh, no.
Shortly after Thanksgiving, I had to have this talk with my daughter, and that was, the Sardas, when it comes to food, are all a bunch of backstabbing assholes.
Oh, shit.
There are certain foods.
Now we're done. There are certain foods that are the dick measuring foods.
Okay.
The family as a whole has some of these heritage pastries called kolaches. It's like a sweet bread with like a fruit filling in the middle. It looks like a donut or even a I'm trying to think of just a general pastry, like a puff pastry with like the jelly in the middle. But it's like a cross between that and a donut.
The word actually sounds like it might be an itchy crotch.
No.
Okay.
But
glad.
they're good, but
Yeah.
it's a Eastern European
Yeah.
sweetbread.
Okay. Sounds good. Not an itchy crotch.
But not an itchy, not crabs either. But it is a hard recipe to get.
Okay.
To nail.
I think we talked about this
Yes.
at some point. Yeah.
Okay, so I had probably conveyed this to my daughter at some point, maybe a year's past, but she was probably a little too young to grasp it. So
Okay.
shortly after Thanksgiving, I had this because we had family up here. I had a refresher, and it was a little bit more of like a shock and awe because she had realized now that she's older, the curtain is pulled back, and I'm like, there's just some things that you don't fuck with in the family.
Okay.
Unless you're ready to bring it as like a gauntlet throwdown.
So what you're saying is, if you only decide you're going to make said dish,
Right.
if your said dish is just the fucking bomb, if it kicks ass,
You bring it,
you bring it.
but you know that
You're under scrutiny.
yes.
Okay.
It's the contest is on.
All right.
There's no contest, but the contest is on.
All right. Right.
So the kolaches are one dish.
Uh-huh.
My dad is notorious for baking what we call the juggernaut.
Okay.
And it is an apple pie
Oh God.
that he bakes in. It can't be a 9-inch pie pan. It's got to be a 13. And
All
it
right.
is huge.
All right.
He puts more fucking apples in this thing than a small orchard.
Jesus.
And then what happens is, the crust stays at the top.
Uh-huh.
So when you cut into it, you get like a
gap.
like no joke, a 4-inch like hollow
Okay.
as the crust collapses on itself on the first pie cut.
Okay.
And then, so Dad makes it apple pie,
All right.
and people just don't fuck with apple pie.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just a tradition. Like Dad brings the apple pie. It's the juggernaut. The juggernaut's here.
Dad makes the fucking apple pie.
That's it.
It's fucking kick-ass.
Right.
Do we need anything else?
My sister does gravy.
Okay.
Generally speaking, my sister does gravy.
She does awesome gravy.
She's the go-to for gravy.
Okay.
I'm leaving it there.
Oh, no.
What else are we talking about? Let's see. The cookies.
Apple
right?
pie,
Apple pie.
gravy.
My dad's fried chicken
All right.
is also one of those things where he's
Known for.
Yeah. It's
All right.
like if you want something for your birthday from Dad, you ask him to come down and make you.
Do they call him the Colonel?
No.
Oh.
That's just Dad's fried chicken.
Okay.
Now, I'm pretty sure people don't fuck with my ribs,
Okay.
but I'd be open to see if someone wanted to throw down.
Okay.
There are a couple other things. I can make the kolaches, but it's just like I don't think anyone's ever said who makes the best.
Okay.
of those.
So there hasn't been
it's just whether or not you can or can't.
There hasn't been someone determined to have been the person responsible.
But if you can't make them, you
don't bother.
You don't bother.
Okay.
And there are people in the family that just don't even try because they understand
this is a temperamental thing, and someone's figured it out.
Right.
Don't fuck with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And for a while, at least at my parents' tier, the spouses that married into the family, it was like specifically my mom and I think one of my other aunts, in-law aunts, tried it, and for whatever reason, my mom could make them. So it was like almost like a get out of jail free card as far as like being in with the family. If you could make them,
and they were worth a damn,
then congratulations.
Yeah,
you are one of us. This is the way.
And now you must make them every time.
This
is your thing.
It was like, well, now you're at the top of the leaderboard. It was like very much like a Top Gear thing. It's like, well, here's the top of the leaderboard. You can make them, and they're good.
Yeah,
and you can kind of walk away and enjoy your time in the sun, kind of thing.
Right.
My mom can make them. I can make them. Kelly, can, but she's still working on them.
Yeah.
So that is a long way to get to. We were at my sister's for Christmas Day. We just do dessert because it's easier with the multiple families. That's like our new thing, either brunch or dessert, coffee and desserts.
Okay.
It kind of speeds it up and, multiple families. So I had made, so you can also do loopholes. So I had made an apple pie.
Okay. Uh-oh.
But instead of a pie crust topping, I did a crumble topping.
Okay.
And I knew I may have gone somewhere that had gotten me dangerous when my sister had some of the apple pie, and then she walked into a different room, and I hear people talking about apple pie. The fuck is apple pie? It's apple Jay, this is really good apple pie.
Oh, no.
This is really good apple pie. What kind of apples did you use? I said, I used Gala apples. And then I hear my dad, really? Interesting. Like, and now I'm getting measured about my apple pies.
Okay.
So, Kim, my sister-in-law, my
I feel
brother.
like there's a throwdown coming.
Maybe.
Okay.
Because if I'm there, then I'm there. I'll do it just to see what my dad does. Anyway, so Kim, my sister-in-law, and my brother, Brett, and Piper, and I think at that point Venus was in another room. So my brother, my sister-in-law, Piper, and myself are all in a room, and we're hearing the apple pie. And Kim said something about, we were talking about the kolaches. And that she had contemplated trying to make them and bring them somewhere. And then she says, and your brother told me, no, fuck no, stop, don't.
Oh, no.
Don't do it. So Piper's next to me, and I said, see, we've had this talk, right? And it was, my brother had essentially had the same conversation with his wife, with my sister-in-law, that it was, no. One does
you don't fuck with the kolaches.
One doesn't simply just make them on your first try and take them up for a trial run.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to do that, you make a trial run, and if they bomb, no one knows you made them because you did not.
You start in advance.
Yes.
Like maybe a month or two.
Right.
And try them out.
Yes.
See how you fuck up and then rework it.
Yes.
And if you get to a point to where, damn, these are pretty good.
Then you make the presentation.
Yes.
I see to someone in the corner. Yeah. So it was funny to have this conversation that my brother and I, same fucking page.
Yeah.
And so he had to have no, this is how this, this is where
you don't want to go down that road.
Right. So it was funny to then have, I'm like, see, I told you this is exactly what it is. But then at the same time, I told Kim, I said, no one fucks with your cupcakes.
Yeah.
And she's like, I didn't know I had cupcakes. I'm like, you have cupcakes.
This is you.
Yeah.
This is your thing.
I'm like, you will never have anyone in my family bring cupcakes to a thing because
your
cupcakes are top of the leaderboard.
And then she was feeling good.
Well, yeah, she's like, I didn't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not. I don't have to tell you. You just know. Now you know.
Yeah.
And Brett, he's sitting, across from me. He's like, I fucking told you about your cupcakes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And, she's like, I didn't know. And I'm like, your cupcakes. And I'm like, fuck. She's like, well, now I'm making cupcakes. I'm like, make the cupcakes.
Yeah. You have a thing already.
If she were to bring her cupcakes to any of the family things, it would be over. It would be Kim's cupcakes.
Yeah.
Game over.
Kim's cupcakes.
You fucking make collages if you want. Kim does the cupcakes.
Yeah.
I don't even know how she does the cupcakes, but they're like the cupcake boutique shit that like we're popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
Kim knows what that is.
Like small cakes or whatever.
I don't know what it is, but they're moist and they're fucking awesome. She puts candy in them, the Rolos. Dude, game over. Anyway, it was funny to have this conversation then with my daughter.
That's
like,
funny.
see, you got to just be careful. I ended up making like a cookie, a Polish cookie that turned out a lot better than I thought it would, and it was a cookie version of the kolache. It was a jam-based thing, somewhere between a biscuit and a shortbread cookie.
Okay.
So a little bit more flaky
Yeah.
than a cookie would be, but not crumbly either. Very interesting. It felt very, Eastern European. So it was.
What's happening over there?
A lot of food.
You was
It was coming back sideways.
drinking a bunch of soda?
Ginger beer.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up now.
So I had a couple things that were cooked that, I felt I nailed. I did a thing. So now I'm curious as to if I found the apple pie recipe.
Yeah.
I loopholed around it by putting a crumb topping on top
Uh-huh.
and not a pie crust on
Right.
top, because that would have been a measure.
Now that we're talking about it, Shanna makes a bunch of pies. She has like a chocolate pecan pie that she'll make.
Your cheese dip.
Yeah.
we can
But
make-
everybody requests. I get requests for the cheese
Exactly.
dip. Yeah.
We make knockoffs.
Uh-huh.
My wife has made a knockoff.
Uh-huh.
It is not as good as your
really?
right. I'm full honest. She will tell you that too. And if she doesn't, she's lying.
Well, no, yeah. I mean, we went for New Year's to my in-laws, and we got is Jim going to bring his dip? So it's like, oh, yep, got to make the artichoke dip. And everyone loves that shit.
Do you have a preferred thing to dip in it?
Corn chips or like Frito
So
scoops,
Fritos, like the scoops?
or just
Yeah.
regular
Yeah,
corn
yeah.
chips.
Did
I
you
think-
have any left?
Yes.
Did you make burritos?
I did not make burritos, but because we didn't have any tortillas this morning,
Oh.
but I made scrambled eggs with them.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what's nice is I make this cheesy artichoke dip that's spicy,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes.
then refrigerate it if you don't eat it all, and then the next morning you scoop that shit into a pan, let it kind of melt down, and then put scrambled eggs in there and just scramble it in there, and it's just delicious.
Yeah.
So
it's,
good.
It's good stuff.
In fact, I made that. Shannon didn't feel that great this morning, so she didn't eat, but the kids came home and all made that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We went through
Oh,
a
yeah,
bunch
that's
of
all
eggs today.
vegan, too. There's no meat in there.
No.
Oh, yeah, there would have been if you had put the bacon in there.
I know. Well, I have to try that.
I almost drove over and left the bacon on your porch, too. You're like,
Well-
when you wake up tomorrow morning, put some of this, and then...
Yeah. Well, no, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't, I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
have put it in the other one because the grandparents,
right.
Shan's parents probably, they're not used to that. I would have to make it on my own and just try it.
Yeah.
And then it would literally just be me and probably Chandler eating it.
That's not really that bad, though.
No. But that would be a big tray of dip to eat, I think.
Yeah, but there's like 3 meals in a day. And you could get a lot of meals out of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we do kind of have that. And then I've always made cookies. So I did a bunch of cookies this year, which I hadn't done in a few years. So it's funny because it's like, oh, Jim made cookies?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I was like, yeah, I did. Oh, cool. You know, like you hadn't done cookies the last couple of years. I'm like, yeah, no, I didn't really have time, you know.
Yeah.
This time I had all this time off, so it's like one day I dedicated to making several batches of cookies.
Yeah.
So, you know.
We had a same over at my sister's, same kind of story about cookies. So, my brother was talking about how his two girls, he had overheard them on Christmas Eve, I believe it was Christmas Eve, looking at the loot underneath the Christmas tree.
Okay.
And they're twins, and so he said that they were like working out. If one of them got something, they were like working out pre-trading. Like, if I get these and you want those, then, and you know, we can
do a swap.
We'll swap out. And he's like, it was crazy because you could already like see that they're like mapping out how Christmas was going to go and how to maximize how happy each other was. Each one of them.
Well, we're going to be disappointed if I get this,
but it's
you
okay
are
because you want those, so I'll give you these if you give me some of those.
Yeah.
And it was funny, you know, because they're little uns.
Yeah.
To hear the thing going on, so the bartering. So we start doing gifts, and my dad does. I don't know if you could see him behind me. They might not be here anymore. He does like the large grocery gift bags of same thing. He bakes cookies of different variants, Rice Krispie treats, and he chucks them in a bag and he gives it to each of the kids for Christmas.
Yeah.
So he hands over the thing, and it wasn't even like it hits my hand, and I go, I'll give out. I want someone's peanut butter cookies, and I'll give out my Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
The minute my brother, he pulls out he's like, I don't want these peanut butter cookies. And like, I chuck him the Rice Krispie treats, and he gives me the peanut butter cookies. And it was like that moment we both realized, wait,
this happens for us too.
Yeah, the kid, we already know. We know how this shit works.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And then we did the tie between his girls, and it was like, that's where they got it.
That's hilarious.
The daddies, they do it too.
Nice.
It was pretty funny.
Now we do, and I know you guys are all astounded by this, but our Christmas is probably a little bit different than most. When I was younger, when I lived at home and stuff, we would just tear through stuff, and Christmas would be done in like 15 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. Now that I'm older and married and we go to my in-laws' house for Christmas, Christmas is different there. So the way it works there is it starts out with the youngest, so that would be Melanie.
Okay.
Melanie goes to the tree and gets a gift for everybody.
Okay.
In the room.
Okay.
Passes a gift out for each person, and then she sits down, and because she's the youngest, she opens, and we all participate in that. And then Chandler would open, and then it goes around the room from there. Then Chandler. On the next one, Chandler would be, and then just so on and so forth. So Chandler would get up and pass out gifts. So that's how our day works.
Okay.
So that way everyone appreciates everything.
Yeah.
Everyone can see it. And people are astounded, like, you're there how long? It's like, yeah, we're kind of just hanging out all day. It's like we don't have anywhere to be.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're here to enjoy this thing. You know, not just and then done.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's just the amount of people is probably where the time sink seems to take a lot. Because I'm like, well, A, how many things are underneath your tree, and B, you just have a lot of people. So if I don't see you guys like doing the sloth thing where you're like,
no,
you're not doing that either.
No.
So there's either a lot of people.
Well, we have what?
You have a good amount of
7 people.
Yeah, so you've got to have more than 4.
Yeah,
and you're doing a rotation.
Yeah,
no one's moving slow, so you've got a decent amount of gifts.
Yeah,
and you've got 7 people.
Yeah.
So it takes
X amount of time. Yeah.
You're not
And it's like we
intentionally grueling through the day.
And then someone will be like, "Oh, I'm hungry," or "I need to go to the bathroom," and we'll literally take a break and some go bathroom or go get something to eat or grab a cookie or drink or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then it's like we all just gravitate back to our spot and like continue on. Yeah. Oh, it's lunchtime. All right, cool. We'll take a break and have some lunch and then chill and bullshit and whatever else.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how we do it. It's kind of it does take a while, but I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I mean, as
it's
long
just
as
a
you're
little
enjoying it,
Yeah.
then who the fuck really? I mean,
I don't have
it's
anywhere
just
else
a
to
fun
go.
rib.
Yeah.
Because,
I know.
good God. What?
Well, what was Mike? Mike said, "I don't think I like anybody enough to like spend that much time with them."
You know, it's so Christmas. I mean, this was the first year. So sad, Dad. This was the first year where neither of the kids, weren't Santed.
Oh,
Xander
yeah.
was last year, and that was probably iffy at best. So it was.
It changes.
It was a thing
Yeah.
for me, the Christmas Eve night, to not be like setting out cookies and milk as
Yeah.
part of the thing.
Right.
I mean, for 12 years,
Yeah.
well, because Piper's 15, so at least for the last 15 years, that's been a thing on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
It's just part of the thing. We never explicitly went, Santa's not real. Or
Right.
Santa's is real.
Yeah.
It was just, that's
It's
part
a
of
tradition.
That's part of the story of Christmas. So this year was the first year where it was like, no one really.
Even said
Are we
anything,
good?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
and Zender's like no, and we went okay. Well then I'm eating the cookies anyway, but when no one's setting out cookies.
Yeah.
And also to it though.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I didn't know it was that big of a point, but it is.
Uh-huh.
We had running in the morning. So Venus and I got up early and we ran and then came back and they were still sleeping. The kids were still sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
So we're up and kind of like ready to go.
Ready to go. Yeah.
So part of the growth of it and the non-Santa was also that it didn't seem like, I think that's part of the excitement to the day, like to have the, that.
Yeah.
They both were openly expressing like, I'd like to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I went, oh.
You want to hear something funny?
We had to wake them up. I had to
yeah.
wake up the kids. I was like, I'm up and I have been up for 2 hours. It's time to get your shit together.
So on Christmas morning, my daughter we were up and my daughter was up and Chandler was still sleeping. And so Melanie goes in there and is like, come on, let's get up. It's like 10 o'clock.
Oh,
Get up, come on, let's get this going.
Yeah.
And then while she's sitting there, she realizes that the last 2 years on Snapchat, she had done the same exact thing. She had recorded it.
Oh,
One last year and the same exact thing the year before. So Chandler was always the guy still sleeping.
Oh, too funny.
Yeah. So we had a good chuckle about that. It's pretty damn funny.
Yeah, next year it's going to be something hardcore. Just have like a whole fucking
We'll get some of those
party.
horns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Merry
that'll get 'em up.
Christmas.
Yeah, that'll get him up. But I thought that was funny because she did it this year, and then she started looking back through her stuff. She's like, "Oh, look, I did it last year, and look, I did it the year before that." And she had Snapchatted all of them. So
God.
funny stuff.
Yeah.
So
We're at time.
right now,
Yeah. Unless you wanted to go long and cover a New Year's.
no.
No.
I mean,
It was like a non-event. I had
Pretty
that
much.
Talk. I had that talk too with like Venus's in-laws. I'm like,
we just hang out and play. We played Mexican Train, and that was it. And had snacks
Yeah.
and
I don't know, like something changed in the last 10-something years with like the media coverage of like the East Coast.
mm-hmm.
Like I feel like New Year's ends at 9 Pacific. Like,
because if you're not on the East Coast,
yeah,
then
everything
forget it.
is you're either watching the East Coast feed,
You're
or-
watching the replay of the East Coast
or you're
feed.
watching a replay,
Yeah.
and because everything is so international and whatnot. Anyway, you're getting
Well,
like
we're the last
yeah.
ones besides Hawaii.
You're getting well wishes and whatnot from your East Coast, Midwest buddies.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I went, I
I can see
drank.
though.
I had my drinks. I tried to fucking code. I couldn't do that. I laid in bed, and it fucking hit 12:02, and I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh God!
Fucking Happy New Year's.
Well, it was funny because we were playing, like I said, we were playing Mexican Train, and I think Ryan, there's a TV in the room we were in, so Ryan had turned it on and put it on the Dick Clark whatever, and we were playing along. It's like, oh crap, it's 4 minutes to midnight. And we're all still sort of playing the game. It's like, oh well,
okay,
hang in there. You know, we did the countdown, and then Shan's mom just wanted to get back to the game.
Yeah,
it's like, in fact, Ryan even said, "Oh, sorry, I wanted to take a minute and a half to celebrate New Year's."
Yeah,
it's
weird. It's a weird one.
I could see like trying to throw like a party or something would be kind of fun.
I think that's almost also part of the conversation. I'm like, I think unless you're actively having a party, it becomes. I think the media coverage and the internationality of it all at this point, it's just kind of like, well, you can catch the 9 o'clock one, and you're good.
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, even though we didn't really celebrate it like normal last night, we got home at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I was in bed.
we got home at 3, and then I think Chandler got home at 3:20.
Wow.
Yeah. And
so he went up there. He cut up there with
No, he went out with friends last night.
Oh.
Yeah. They went to.
Was it a prison?
More than likely. Well, minimally, there was a prison wallet involved. I don't know. They went to Sully's bar down on Taylor Pacific.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know where that.
They went down there, and I think they had karaoke and shit, so they were hanging out with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like you had a good time.
Well, we're good.
All right.
Pull it. We'll catch them next week.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Hope everyone came out on the other end okay. Looking forward to 2020.
Get back to work, Tim.
Yeah, and get back to work. We'll catch you next week.
Good night.